And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're going to take a look at Essen. Now this is a game that's based on the Spiel fair in Essen, which is a gigantic board game fair. I've gone to it a couple times and it's huge. Thousands, maybe not thousands, but definitely hundreds of vendors there selling their games, and everybody wants you to come to their booth. And that is the theme of this. You are going to be one of those game sellers selling games at this fair, trying to attract people to your booth. Can you do it? Are you ready? Here we see. Each player gets their own player board here, which is your display booth for your games. You can see here that the games on this one looks like it's some sort of word game. I can't be selling that kind of game. Here, I don't know, that looks like Trivial Pursuit. Catan, that's better. Catan, I don't know what these games are. Ooh, this one looks like Descent. Alright, so I'll play this board. It doesn't really matter which board you pick, but you get a player board, and then you'll get a pawn of your color, and player ordered tokens will be handed out for each turn of the game. There's also a large player board. Let's take a look at this one. This has a lot of the different features of the game on it. This is going to keep track of how much money we make as a turn, but the most important thing on this board is this pile of tiles right here. This pile of tiles tells us how many customers are coming to the fair, how many people are coming to the fair this round. So 20 people are going to come this round. The game takes place over 4 days, each day split into a morning and a night. The main difference between morning and night are these tiles. If you buy them, they go away at night. So if you buy them in the morning, you have them for 2 turns. So there's essentially 8 turns over the course of the game. So the first thing players are going to decide on their turn is how many of their tables they're going to turn into selling tables. You essentially, if I do this, I'm going to be selling games at one table and demoing at the other 3. But I can sell games at all of them. It's my choice. Now this game has a lot of customer tiles in it. These customer tiles show various people, which in the regular game has no bearing on anything, but they also function as money, and every player will start with 3. And so at the beginning of the game, on turn 1, I'll say, okay, I'm going to sell things at one table. Then each player has an action that they can take. One of their actions is you can sell at another table for free. You put one of your guys there. Basically, this is you, and you're selling the game yourself. Or you can help demo. Each table that you're demoing at is going to give you some buzz. That's what the colored white circles do. If I put him here, that table is going to create 2 buzz. I can also send someone to someone else's board and put them there, and basically I am kind of telling other people, hey, come look at my games, or I'm using a megaphone, or I'm doing something to get people to come from other people's booths and come to my booths. And then finally I can go here and buy one of these. This will give me extra buzz. 2 extra buzz. This one here I can put on one of my tables, and my tables will sell for a better price. And here I can manipulate money behind the scenes. And that will make sense in a little bit. So then, after everyone has picked their action and decided how many tables they're going to do, then we're going to flip this tile here. Again, it shows that 20 people are coming to the fair, and it shows that this is how many people are going to buy. Only 1 table. Maybe next turn it would be 2 tables, and maybe 3 tables. You're never quite sure. So 20 people are coming. So we take a stack of 20 tiles and you split them evenly between the players. And if you can't figure out if they don't split evenly, you give them to the players in turn order. So let's say it's a 4-player game. With 20 people, I'm going to get 5 coming to me. Now, if you buy any of these buzz tokens, that will also bring extra people to the fair. And so those get added to the pile and distributed also. So I have 5 people that come here. So I will distribute them amongst my tables. One guy comes to this table, one comes to this one here, and normally I'd put the next one here, but instead he goes to the green player who decided to come and steal one of my people. Now, after this has been done, then anybody who's at a table that's selling games is going to convert into money. At the beginning of the game, that's 1 for 1, but sometimes when sales aren't very good, it will take 2 customers to change into a euro, and then I place that into that round. So this will be round 1. So each round you're going to have a stack of money, and if you in the future you can use that money, but it's also going to be points at the end of the game. After everyone has sold their games, and I could, even if I had another table here, it wouldn't have sold because only one table sells this round. That's what the tile told us. Then we count up everyone's buzz. Well, first this goes over to the green player. Then we count up our buzz. So I have 3 buzz here, and let's say though I had bought this tile here, so I have 5 buzz. My neighbor on this side has 4 buzz, so I am higher than him, so I can take one of his stacks. So he has a stack of 1, so I take that one and put it in my queue. That means they're going to come next turn. And then over here, this person also had 5 buzz, so nothing happens. So I only compare it to my neighbors. Then I take all the people who didn't do anything and demoed, and they're going to come in the queue to buy. And this will be added to the number of people who come in next round. So if you don't do anything, you could have a whole huge stack of people here. Sometimes have 3 or 4 at each table. So after that happens though, an important thing. Over here, we're going to keep track of total sales. That's what this is. This is in the score thing. So let's say total sales are 10. Was that higher than a previous round? Yes. And we're going to keep track of whether it's higher than a previous round than this. This is going to show the highest sales have ever been. Every time sales break a record, this moves up. And this is how many points bonuses are worth. At the end of the game, whoever has the most of the least amount of money. What I mean is you're going to look at all your piles of money here, and you're going to count your lowest one. And if your lowest one's higher than other players' lowest ones, you will get bonus points equal to wherever this cube is. Whoever has the most people left over at the end of the game in their queue gets a bonus, and then whoever has the longest row of increasing amounts of money made. So this might be 1, then there might be a higher stack here, and then a higher stack here, and then a higher stack here, and then 1 here. Well, so my row is 4. And if I have the highest row, I get those points. At the end of the game, you will also get points for every euro you have. So you take those, add in any bonuses you have, and the most points is the winner. The accountant is useful in this regard because he can move these things around the stacks so that you can win those bonuses. And these sales can let you sell 1 for 1 even when there's a downside turn. See, whenever sales go up, then this cube is moved, and it's going to keep everything going. We're going to sell 1 for 1, but it makes the prices for these tiles higher. Whenever sales go down, this moves diagonally over like this, and now the prices for these tiles have gone down, but also it takes 2 customers to get 1 euro. And that's basically it. There's rules to add in 8 players if you have 2 copies of the game, and special things that in regard to that. In fact, this board flips over and becomes some extra things for a 5 to 8 player game, and then each of these boards turns over and is a different color. So there's that. Okay, the theme of Essen is about selling games at Essen, which is a little too narrow for me. I think they could have just made this convention or game convention or something. I think then it could have fit in more categories and maybe more, it had a wider range. If you just heard about this game, Essen, and didn't know what Essen was, this isn't going to mean as much to you. And that's kind of a sad thing, because it really does fit the theme of Essen itself, but it would fit the theme of any game convention. The idea of, are you going to demo games or are you going to sell games over here? What you're going to do each turn. And sometimes it's a bit of a guesswork, as you're like, do I want to spend money getting more tables to sell games, but not that many games will come out this round. So you have to sometimes guess in that regard. But other than that, it's a very simple game. You're basically just trying to manipulate. You get a couple actions each turn and try to get people to come to you and decide, are you going to try to steal from someone else? Are you going to go, are you going to deliberately go over and take some of their customers? They have a huge stack in their queue. That might be the best move to do. Or at the same time, maybe it's better to get your buzz higher so people don't steal from you, for one, and then you can steal from your neighbors. And I like it. Now, the pixelized artwork is okay. I don't know what the point of it is. I mean, little cartoony artwork would have worked just as fine, but I guess we have to pixelize everything these days. That was okay, but the components are great. The 5 to 8 player game I haven't played, and I'm not, because I think it's kind of silly for a game this big that you have to buy 2 copies to play 5 to 8. Well, if that's what I need to do, then why would I? Not to mention that I play with the full complement of 4 players from one box, and that seemed pretty perfect. I didn't need to add more players to that and make the game go longer. There also is all these little accessories that you can add. There's different boards and things. But as a game itself, I think it works. Even if you don't know anything about the fair, you will enjoy it. It's light. There's not a whole lot of heavy thinking here. It's essentially, how much do I sell? How much am I not going to sell? What action am I going to take? Then what am I going to do next turn? You do the 8 turns and you're fine. And you can do things differently. There's a small economic system as the prices go up and down, and as you might be working together as a group to get those bonuses higher, and those bonuses can make a big difference. I can't ever see them going up to 8. I don't think it's possible that you can just continually sell higher every round. There's going to be some rounds where stuff just isn't going to sell, or there's not enough customers coming. But I have to say, I was surprised. I thought maybe this was kind of a gimmick game, a game that was made for the fair. Ha Essen, yay! Buy this game that we didn't put a lot of effort into. But it does feel like a very solid game. So one if you can find it, I would check it out. Essen. Dice Tower Judgment, approved.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut that door.